Willkommen und bitteschön. Das ist nicht richtig. This is Belgium, not Germany. Welcome to Spa-Francorchamps. In the hilly hills and in the deep forests of Belgium. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Willkommen to Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps. Und salut, bonjour, bonsoir. For the Circuit de Francorchamps, it is 8 o'clock in the morning, 6.93 kilometers in length at an altitude of 14 meters a second. Meters a second? Imagine Spa-Francorchamps going at that sheer ferocity. It's partially cloudy. 13 kilometers per hour southeast wind. Myself and Craig back again. I mean, this is the constant. Myself, Craig, at 18-degree temperatures. It is actually pretty cool.
Well, good evening, Belgium. This is London calling. Is this not Eurovision? Sorry if I got the wrong show. No, it's the Super Trofeo series. Rob, I've got to get out the way right now. We're looking at these stats. We're looking at the weather. Humidity for qualifying 69%.
Nice.
Just got to get that out of the way. No, in a weekend where 1 in 8 people gained 0x at the Bathurst 12 hours, we come to Spa for the Super Trofeo series where 1 in 8 people will get an off-track at every corner of the race. Because that is the way Spa is. That is mean, but I got to be honest. It has happened to me and it happened to many people. I had 13 off tracks yesterday as IMSA has been here this week. And of course, if IMSA's here, that means that these guys have got some really good practice in these Lamborghini GT3s, as it's one of the premier it's one of the only 2 GT3 cars that is on the IMSA calendar. So they've managed to get some practice. And when they say practice, I mean, my out of shape, lack of ability driver managed to do 220s yesterday in race pace, and some of these guys are doing 216s in qualifying. So they're all going to make me look like a really bad driver. That's what everybody does, Rob. That's what everybody does. So
even under emission, you said I did in back in the day.
Back in today.
Back in day. But this isn't the Spa 24. There is a incident limit, and there's also local enforcement of rules in terms of not going and not as one would put it, taking liberties with how many off tracks you can get by going wide. As Spa is one of the, especially on the iRacing services, it is one of the tracks that is definitely very susceptible to this kind of shenanigans where it's like...
Oh, Matthew Heatrix! Sorry to interrupt. Matthew Heatrix has had a moment going up Eau Rouge and Raidillon. Oh, what has happened to him? Did he just lose it? Car unsettled. Yeah, car was unsettled as he went up Raidillon. Just went sideways straight into the wall. Sorry. That is the... That's the trials and tribulations of Spa. That is probably one of the worst corners around. Ryan Hamilton parked the car to one side, letting the cars by. No injuries or anything like that. A lot of drivers looks like they're setting off track and just trying to get away. Callum Beaumont will be one of the first cars to settle that, Rob, which brings me nicely to the amateur point standings. Callum Beaumont second with 364, 10 points behind Christian Furs, 374. And Daniel Gilding with 314, Leiden Lee in fourth with 294. Mark Fleming with 278, Ted Bradbury with 262, Ryan Hamilton 246, Dennis Mesner 242, Matthew Joycott 228, and Chris Hamer 218. So very close at the top of that table. Only 60 points separate the top 3.
Now, we just went past. Sorry, we're just looking at Callum Bowman now at the moment of the Midland Sim Racing or Midland Sim Racers. He just went past one of the points where at the Spa 24 last year was a very, very, how should I put it? A very no-no spot where everybody and everyone, once they realized that the incident limit was now infinite, people were kind of going at it as a target. As in, I have infinite limits, so I will use all of this track. As you see, the first times coming Andy Hitchkins and Callum Beaumont of the Midland Sim Racers first set their lap times. Daniel Merchant coming in not too far behind with 2:19s. The two of them are doing 2:18s. And we're waiting for more laps. Matthew Sewell had an invalid lap, as did Drake Cott, as did Dennis Meisner. Ryan Hamilton.
And Daniel Gilding.
Yeah.
A lot of them had invalid laps, actually. Sorry to interrupt. Even Christian Furs with an invalid lap. Now we gotta play mention here, because it's the endurance race. That means there is hyperpole. So of course the top 5 amateurs, they'll be battling, because if they can get in the top 5, they get another crack at the cherry. So it's very important for the likes of Furs and Gilding and Beaumont. And of course Beaumont's currently spinning P2, a pretty safe time, but only 3 amateurs setting a time at the moment, which is very puzzling, if you ask me.
Why is that puzzling, Craig King?
I was told that a Spa, as long as you stay off the curbs, there's no issues with off tracks. So
nope.
Just drive, just don't use the curbs. Simple as.
No, actually, there is a no. Because you can still run out. We're on looking at Christian Furs right about now, as he tries to set a second lap. You can run out on a particular section exceptionally wide and still not make an off track.
I want to see how much he lifts here. That's a decent amount of lifting, but you have to in these cars. That Blanchimont, or as Rob called it, Raidillon once, is very tough for the speed. Callum Beaumont, by the way, breaks into the 117s. Andy Hitchens, sorry, it's Matthew Silver, 218, 236. Christian Furs comes across the line in a 218, 285. He's on the bubble. He's on the bubble. He's not Matthew Dracoft off. Is there anybody else that's going to be able to come in? Lyden Lee's going to be crossing the line shortly. He comes across the line with a 219, 159. Not enough. I mean, there's some more crossing the line. I don't think... Oh, God, I watched Lyden Lee go full pace into the wall, then flip over like a turtle. It looks like Christian Furs, they start actually at 219, 173. Christian Furs just makes it into hyperpole.
Unless Chris Chatterton has something to say. As he crossing...
He doesn't.
He doesn't. Nope. That's it. And Matthew Draycott is not able to... It's going quite fast. Oh, no, he's not setting a second lap. At least I hope not. But the pros are due out next. So, top 5 out of amateur will be Callum Beaumont, Hitchens, Sewell, Daniel Gilding, and Christian Furs. The 4 and 5 of them will be doing hyperpole once the pros have finished their lap. And their top 5 will also go out with the amateur top 5. We're now just waiting. I think Draycott is doing a second lap.
No, he's done 2 qualifying laps. Very weird. Okay. Must be coming back into the pit, but as far as I'm aware, he's got 2 laps recorded on qualifying, a 2:31.349 and that 2:18.369. So, pretty sure he's done. But we'll wait and see. Coming around again, there are 2 corners in my opinion that are really tricky when it comes to GT3s. One of them is here at Blanchimont. That corner there is a tough one, and then the other one, of course, is Eau Rouge and Raidillon, because you think about the cars that can go up that part of the track, and I can't think of anything else that needs so much lifting. And then when you get back on the throttle, it feels like you're on a ship. because the car's going this way and that way, and you're fighting it, as we saw with wasn't it Heat Trick or was it Fleming? One or the other. I think it was Heat Trick that we saw. So you just gotta be careful, but yeah, it's tough. I'm trying to think of any other tough corners where you would need to do something that you would not do in any other car when it comes to GT3s. And no, Blanchimont and Rouge Raidillon are the only two that I'm definitely putting in my head right now. Everything else is pretty the same for every type of car in the world, apart from an F1 car.
Where you just go yeet.
You go lead and basically brake at the last possible moment because, you know, they have brakes that are just insane.
The boys are out. And there's Ma once again. Hey, Ma.
Evening, Mark.
As the 4 Project Dynamic cars just in a line going through Raidillon. And past into the... I was going to say this is the Kemmel straight. I'm not sure if that's correct.
It is the Kemmel straight.
Ah.
It is.
Indeed,
well,
indeed.
While they do that, Rob, would be a good time to just update on the Pro Championship. Because, as we know, Tanguy van der Wedge still leading the fray. 358 points. He's only got a 6-point buffer against Jonas Dreyer, though, who's on 352. Casper Lund sitting on 326 in third place. With James Armstrong P4 with 314. Milan Tikins rounds out the top 5. I got it in the end with 260. Harry Wills 228 in 6th. Ben Smith 202 in 7th. Will Egby 194 in 8th. Taylor Lane with 172 in 9th. And Emil Tangard with 166 in 10th. All to play for still. 100 points, I believe, available for tonight's racing. So, and because it's endurance, you don't get that in like blips and blobs. It like split up like you would on a 2 race night, on a sprint race night. No, endurance is all in one go, and that's going to be a challenge for a lot of these guys.
Go, Van de Wegerwedge.
Well, let's do it, Rob. We haven't done it for a while. Tanguy is the first car up there. Let's do a lap around this beautiful track that is Spa. It'll be coming down to the source very quickly. You'll break up that 100 marker board. Probably going to first gear. Yeah, first gear, down he goes. Want to be careful when you go on the throttle here. You don't want to slide like Tanguy's just done right here. Down the straight they go into and just hug this wall as close as you want. You get up into 5th gear. You won't hit 6th. Cut as much of that inside as you can. Lift off as you go up over Rouge and Raidillon. And then get back on the throttle. Try to avoid it. That was beautiful. And down at the Kemmel straight. Finally in 6th gear. Just want to keep it nice and calm here. You just want to set yourself up. There's going to be a little line just on the curve that you want to be braking right now. Probably 3rd, maybe 2nd as they go into Lake Kumit's 3rd gear. Do not take the full apex there for the second part. Go around, a little bit of lift as you come around the final part here. That's actually Malmedy. Then down into Bruxelles, brake there again at the curve, down into 2nd gear. And around. Hold it. You see the apex, now you go. Now you're going into No Name, turn 9. And now the controversial corner because they want you to call it double gauche. I'm sorry, it is still Pujon to me. Braking just about now, dropping to 4th gear, then get back on the throttle as the car is sliding. Avoid every market, you're going full speed, no lifting through Pujon, and then into Les Fawns. Brake just underneath that barrier, down into 3rd, late apex on the first part of Les Fawns, and then you just come in, a little bit of lift here as you come down into the final part here, into Campett's corner, brake down a gear, into 3rd, throttle down into Stavlots they go now. This is the tough corner in these GT3s because it will want to make you throw out the side there and get an off track, but he avoids it. And now it is this run down to Blanchimont. Get into 6th gear as fast as you can. 6th gear he goes. You need to lift as you go around this corner. Let's see how you lift. Perfect. perfect. He kept a lot of speed on there as well. And you want to break him at the dirt mark here for the bus stop. Down into first gear. He goes late into the first. Up, hits the brakes. Don't want to take it too slidey. Avoid that off track there because that will slide out. It's a really good lap and a good example of Spa here for Tanguy. What is that time going to be? It's a 2:16.594. Wow.
Just smashed it out the park. You can just see the fastest time from an amateur was Callum Bowman's 2:17.856. He did it by about an hour. He pipped it by an hour. Ooh, that would be a bit excessive. Well, he pipped it by a second. Just over a second, actually. About 1.2 seconds, as his fellow compatriots are also coming across the line. Jonas Dreyer putting in a 2:16.644. Chris Daines with a 2:16.965, 2:17.065 from Eggeby, and Armstrong is in the bubble with a 2:17.264. As you see them attempt a second lap. Harry Wills and Milan Tikas are the only other two. No, sorry. Taylor Lane is also. I think he's not qualifying this one.
No, I didn't even see Taylor Lane here. But no, he's not qualifying. So no, as you were saying, it's Milan Tikas and Harry Wills did not set a time there with the off tracks. So we'll wait to see what they can do. I kind of like getting a banker lap in when you do 2 laps around Spa and then go hellbound for leather on the second lap, because now you're just going to be cautious around the second lap here. Never what you want to do. You just want to just hold on and just take it safe, take it calm, and then, you know, get your banker lap in, go for it. But such a good lap by Tanguy, and that's not as fast as he can go. In practice, he did a 2:16.389. Jonas Dreyer, by the way, he did a 2:16.831, so already he's 2/10 faster than the time he set in practice, which is some going. You know, track temperature is 18 Celsius, of course, at 9:22 in the morning, as the pros are about to set their second lap. I think, yep, Tanguy is coming to the bus stop right now. What will his time be? Does he improve? Does he get a lap? We'll wait and see as he comes across. Takes a lot more curve at the end of the bus stop there. Comes across the line. It is invalid. It is invalid.
Van der Wesch sticking with a 5.94. Jonas Dreyer. He has not an invalid lap. Chris Daines. Not faster. Will Egby not faster. James Armstrong, he's not faster, as is Harry Wills. Louis Egerton got pushed into the top 5. Car number 1. Wait, that's everybody for pro. It is time for the big ol' hyperpole. Yes, indeed.
So a reminder: the top 5 in all two classes. No, just the top 5 in the 2 classes go out for hyperpole. That's Van der Wesch, Dreyer, Daines, Egby, and Eggerson for the pros. Beaumont, Hitchens, Sewell, Gilding, and Furs for the amateurs. It's gonna be interesting because Dreyer actually he didn't go faster, but he is only a 10th away. Chris Daines practically matched his time as well. As they're gonna have they're gonna have the same track. The amateurs get a slightly cooler track. It's only 1 Celsius, but every little helps. And then there comes the question is, do they want to set another lap, or can they set another lap? Because how many of those guys took invalid laps there? Was it 5?
It must have been more than that. I think it was about 5 or 6.
Yeah.
That's what I counted immediately, was 5 or 6.
So, yeah, that's kind of what we're looking at. Such is the way of Spa. Again, throwing a banker lap and go for it. That's how I go. That's how I do it. But we'll wait and see with these guys. I don't think Tanguy's going to be knocked off that pole position if I'm you to see.
It depends. It depends. I mean, if Van der Wesch, if there's anything to go by, he was pretty confident. He looks pretty confident in that car, and he was the fastest. And I think he was fastest in practice, if I'm not mistaken.
He was. By half a second.
Yeah, by half a second. I mean, that is commanding more
Oh,
than
no,
anything.
sorry. No, it wasn't half a second. I just realized. Sorry, Milan Tikin's going to slap me right now. He was second fastest by 9 thousandths.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to get a big slap. Oh, dude, look
but
what
Milan
you're doing.
yeah. So, one of the best lap for Milan. And he knows, I think he has been bracing himself. He can go faster. It's a bit of a shame there. That is the nature of Spa. And these cars, they just don't like turning in around Spa. Is what I found. And especially when you go to like I was saying, IMSA's been here this week. So if you've been doing IMSA, I think the track temperature is a little bit warmer, probably about 8 Celsius warmer. And that's still quite a big deal. That 8 Celsius will make an impact. And I think that probably showed, but I'm curious to see what the amateurs do here more than the pros, just because
If I am going to be honest, I mean, the way that you drive GT3 around here is that you minimize understeer, because these cars are understeer machines when it comes to iRacing in particular. They like to understeer a lot, and it's just preventing the understeer from catching you out. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's not how it is in reality, but like, you know, unfortunately, it is a sim. So
that's how I got my only off track at Bathurst this weekend. Damn you understeer.
There's very few places that you can understeer, get an off track at Bathurst.
Top of the mountain.
How did you not smash it into the wall?
Because we're talking about McPhillamy Park with the gravel runoff. So the moment I realised that I was not going to make it, I was going over the curb. I just took all throttle input out of the car and just let the car slow down, so I could return it back to the track.
Return it back to normal.
Yeah.
Back to regular broadcasting after Craig has his off track.
But followed by loads of swearing and really frustrated because it was near the start of my stint, and I thought, well, this is how it's going to go again, because every time I've got into the car for my first stint in any endurance race, it's never gone well. And that was probably the best. It was the best first stint I have ever had in an endurance race. I was racing nobody. No. Actually, I gave up P3. Gave up P4 or P3 because the guys were just way too fast. And I knew that there was no point holding them up. So when they got to me, I just said, just take it. You know, so I just said, just take it. I overtook people who crashed out, but apart from that, no. It was the most boring 12 hours. After the first 2 hours, it was the most boring 10 hours. We didn't see anybody. We didn't battle anybody. The one battle we wanted never happened. Hey, I'll take a P2 though. I'm not going to complain at that though. I'll take a P2 any day. These guys won't take P2s though. See that segue?
I'll give you the segue. I'll give you the segue.
Hey, Linus, if you want some segue advice, hit me up.
Ha.
Right, Jonas Trade's about to... not Jonas Trade, sorry, Van der Wedge. Well, Jonas Trade's right behind him. Van der Wedge is going to be the first guy. Because they're all in the order that they qualified in. So Van der Wedge will cross the line for his first lap. 2:16.486, he goes faster. Dreyer, 2:16.538, he goes faster. Danes crosses the line. Is it invalid? Egby, invalid. Egerson, invalid. What about the amateurs? Beaumont are crossing the line. 2:18.288, not fast enough. Hitchens, 2:17.996, it's faster. Sewell, 2:17.779. Again, it's faster. It's pole position for Sewell. Gilding will come across the line right now. What does he do? 2:18.232. That is faster. And Furs will cross the line. Invalid. We have seen one position change, and it's the amateurs. Did I not predict it, or did I not predict it? Matthew Sewell's had enough. He's called that time and just parked the car.
I think he was just like, I'm never going to do a better lap than this. Sewell. Yeah.
Lap though, 2:17.779.
I mean,
wow. That's a good time.
I mean, to be fair, right? If you put in a good lap on the first lap and you know you're not going to go any faster, you might as well park it up and just be like, all right, yeah, that's me. Yeah, I'm good.
That was a super lap from Sewell.
It's a sweet.
It's just like a pig squealing. Yeah.
Oh, dear.
I know. But still, though, the gap between the pros and the amateurs, the gap between a 5.6k guy and Sewell, who's a 2k guy, is a second, 1.3 seconds. Doesn't sound a lot, really, when you think about it at Spa. And every time, that Van der Wedge went, Van der Wedge might have got an off track here. This could be interesting. I think he's okay. I think he kept only one wheel. We'll wait and see. Did a 2:16.486 last lap. What's he going to do here for his second lap? It might be invalid. We're not entirely sure. He's used a lot of the limits at the 2:16.594. Stray across at the line. It's a 2:16.577. Can Danes improve? No. What about Egby? Yes. 0.027. Eggerson gets an invalid lap. We know Sewell has finished. Beaumont does not improve. Hitchens, invalid. Gilding now coming. He's pinned it at the bus stop. Christian first, the last car to set a lap then. 2:18.285 for the leader of the amateurs. What's he going to do as he crosses the line? Does he get it all together? 2:17.942 is enough to put him up to third place. The amateurs strike again at Hyperpole. Like I said.
You love to be like, amateurs, get it again. Amateurs, best class. I'm a pro man. I'm a pro man. Okay, I root for the green. You root for the yellow.
I'm just saying. You know, I've raced against some of these guys in the amateurs, so I've got to shout out to them. Do you want to go through the qualifying times then?
Indeed. So we have Van der Wedge with a 2:16.487 in first position for professionals. We have a 2:16.538 from Jonas Dreyer. Very good lap from him. Puts him in second. Chris Danes in third with 2:16.965. In fourth position is Will Egby with a 2:17.028, and then we have Louis Egerton with a 2:17.079 in fifth. In sixth, Harry Wills with a 2:17.246. Did I say in sixth? I did. In seventh is James T. Armstrong with a 2:17.264 with a, well, thinking about a 0.08 of a second difference between himself and Milan Tikins in 8th position with a 2:17.347. Matthew Sewell is in pole position for amateur with a 2:17.780. Callum Bowman with a 2:17.856 in a close second. In third for amateur is Christian Furs with a 2:17.943. Andy Hitchkins, apologies, with a 2:17.996. Daniel Gilding with a 2:18.233. Matthew Draycott with a 2:18.369. Chris Chatterton with a 2:18.430. Leiden Lee with a 2:19.159. Dave South with a 2:19.174. Daniel Merchant with a 2:19.748. And that is the last of the actual qualifiers. Those that did not qualify were as follows: Ted Bradbury, Dennis Meisner, Mark Fleming, Matthew Heatrick, Ryan Hamilton, and Taylor Lane.
I don't know. That's my job.
Bet you do it now. The future is now, old man.
Whoa. No.
Your powers are weak, old man.
Just because I've injured my wrist a little bit from Bathurst. Alright? I still went out yesterday. I still went out and did a spa race yesterday. Then I started working and realised, why's my arm hurting? Oh, my elbow's now playing up. Never did I say, must be getting old. Never.
No, do you know those memes that are just like, oh, I got hit once, I'll be grand. A little tap on the knee, I'm literally dying.
Yeah, I used to be a top sim racer, and then I took an arrow to the knee.
Cannot believe you just made a Skyrim reference on my wholesome stream.
I'm sorry.
How dare you?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Well, while we wait for the sessions to the race session to load up and go in, there was actually some racing this weekend, Rob, and it wasn't oval racing. Formula E was back this weekend.
Did you watch it?
It was very eventful. I went to get food on Friday, and then I watched some of it on the way back in the car, and then I had the whole lost internet issue and was trying to fix that. So I missed it, but I know who won. Race 1 was Nick DeFries. Unfortunately, race 2, I was racing at the time. But race 2 and the whole of Saturday was very eventful. Eduardo Mortara had a very scary crash, and I mean very scary. I don't know if you heard about it, Rob. Mortara, who we've actually commentated on in the Huskenveld GT Challenge, the brakes failed. There's a fail-safe. There's a fail-safe where the rear brakes will kick in if the front brakes don't work. They failed as well, and the car just went into the wall at high speed.
I did see the images. I thought that I didn't know it was Mortara. I thought the image didn't actually say who it was, but it was.
Yeah.
Ooh, blimey, it was pretty.
Was scary.
Ooh.
And then in the same straight, at the end of the race 2, with like 5 or 7 minutes to go, Alex Lynn. Was that Alex Lynn? Yeah, Alex Lynn flips Mark Webber-esque. No, we're not talking Le Mans flip. We're talking Catalonia flip. Lands on the roof and just the broadcasters never showed it because there was like 5 cars all there. 3 of them went off because they collided with each other, and they were too busy looking at those to know that just in the corner to the right of the camera was Lynn upside down, and there was a track marshal who was recording everything, and he was recording the cars going off. And then in his camera, you just saw this Formula E car upside down going past him at breakneck speed. It was like, yep, it was scary. But Halo did its job, even if the Halo got dented.
He probably that poor steward probably got a heart attack when he saw that. It's like, oh my god, that's a car upside down.
The worst thing is for me. It did feel like some sort of like wait for it meme or gif or something. Do you know what I mean? Because it was just like, oh, they've had a crash, and then out of nowhere, woo, you know, just going right by.
I can't believe you actually went woo.
I went like that, and then the microphone said, "That's not your voice."
You're not only had it perfectly cut out as well. Wait for it. Woo. but
no,
at least they're fine.
He complained of his knees hurting, but apparently when he flipped over, his knees whacked the steering wheel, so you can kind of understand that. I mean, if that's the Halo dented.
Well, it's not meant to be like it's meant to withstand instantaneous force. I thought that was the original design of it, no? For like instantaneous, like when I describe instantaneous forces, so an instantaneous force would be like a tire coming at the driver, a pole striking a driver, or striking in the homogeneous or homologated zone of the cockpit. That would be an instantaneous force. I don't think the Halo is not really designed. I mean, it's designed to be like it's designed to lean on it, no problem, like. But I wouldn't imagine that it's designed for continuous force where you're continuously upside down just going wee.
Well, apparently the dent came as it landed upside down. I'm not sure if that's confirmed or not, because in the replay, because they actually had a CCTV camera that they then showed everybody later in the day when they said that it was Oh, hello, Slevin, by the way. I thought at one stage, maybe, maybe he got hit the side wall, which it wasn't, which was a relief. If you ask me, that was a relief, but it was very scary because we haven't had a flip like that at high speed, and we haven't had anything that bad in Formula E since the first race in Formula E, which I don't think anyone can remember.
I don't think you had anything. I don't think we've had anything on that scale since. If I'm gonna be honest, I think it's since Kubica had his massive accident in Canada, where the whole car was just literally thrown apart.
Yeah, I mean, we've had some scary ones. Like I said, the first race of the Formula E, the final corner, Alan Prost's son, Nicolas Prost, and I can't remember who it was. I want to say
Sebastian Loeb.
It was Highfield, wasn't it?
Nick Heidfeld.
Yeah, it was Highfield. Highfield and Prost were having a fight on the first race of Formula E ever at China. Final corner, Prost goes for a blocking move and they collide. Prost crashes out. Highfield goes sideways, hits the curbing they got to, so you couldn't take like a sharp turn into the final corner. He hit that sideways. He goes flying and he hits the crash barrier sideways. Sorry, not sideways. Basically, hits the barrier. They didn't have a halo back then, and he hit it almost so the hoop roll hit the tire wall as he basically landed on his side, and that was the scariest thing.
Right? Yeah. Okay, that is a bit of a yikes. If I'm gonna be honest.
To be fair, like everyone was like, "Oh, this Formula E, what's it all about?" And they've got an EJ, because they knew there was no engine noises. Rob, they had a DJ which they called an EJ, which played music because nobody else could listen. You hear anything. So they had an EJ with like Daft Punk style design, right? Bear in mind also the first 2 seasons of Formula E, you had to change cars at a certain point in the race.
Yeah, you basically had to hop out of one car and go into another, which I think everybody and their left nan laughed at.
Oh, it was funny. But I'll talk about that in a minute because it wasn't a very interesting race. There were overtakes, but everyone was like, "Yeah, but there's no engine noise," and everyone was getting used to it. And then that crash happened at the end, and it was like, "What on earth?" But that with the car changing, back when F1 decided on YouTube, they would record the drivers' meeting with Charlie Whiting. They tried doing that for Formula E. It lasted 1 race, and recording it for YouTube lasted 1 race. Now the guy, the race control, the race director, for Formula E, the American guy, I forget his name. He's brilliant. All right, he really is good. But it's not a perfect series, okay? And they've made loads of mistakes. But the thing I remember was people were jumping into the car and trying to get away as fast as they can during the driver swap, not putting the seatbelts on. So they had to force them to stay in the pits for X amount of time. I honestly, it was stupid. It was really unsafe at first.
Well, you see, that's the thing about an emerging sport. You'll have a lot of people taking... People are a lot more... I think a lot more willing to take risks, especially something with a new sport where it's just like, oh, I can get brownie points here. Hang on. Do I need a belt? I only need to button it up after like a certain amount of time. Say less. I'm going.
Though I will say this weekend was the first race that Formula E has been under the World Championship banner. It's not been recognised as the World Championship until this season. So to have the drama that happened wasn't exactly good because I forgot to tell you what happened because of that red flag that ended the race. They've got attack mode. They've got attack mode, right?
Yeah.
Well, a good number of drivers couldn't use their second attack mode which means that you have to take a drive-through penalty. But if a race is over, that drive-through penalty is a 24-second penalty. So, I think John-Eric Verne, came P3, but he could not do his last attack mode. Now, attack mode lasts 3 minutes. They red flagged the race with 3 minutes to go. They were in the safety car for about 3 minutes already. So all that, and they're not allowed to take attack mode during safety car anymore. So all that time was wasted. You cannot appeal this decision. It's a rule you cannot appeal. Despite there was obvious reasons why these guys could not take attack mode, the whole thing was ruined. And then the worst thing was, when everyone's saying, well, this isn't right, someone found out this would happen in F1 if you didn't take tyres. If for some reason there's a red flag in a dry race, and you haven't done your one pit stop for dry tyres, you get a 24-second penalty.
I mean,
how's that fair?
I mean, it's better to see it out now. I'm going to actually grab some water, and I will be right back.
You did. Seriously though, chap, am I the only one who thinks that's a little bit bizarre? It just feels weird. Like, surely you can have, like, I get implications, but when you get something like that, a red flag that ends the race, when there was time to use attack mode, but due to the rules with safety car and stuff, they could not take it. Yeah, they could have had some leniency. It's the same with F1. Because, touch wood, and I'm hitting my head right now because my table is MDF, so it does not count. I do feel that F1 will never have a hopefully never have a red flag race for dry conditions that just ends the race. Maybe at the end of a race, you know, like say what happened to Charles Leclerc in Monza. Say that happened with like 3 laps to go, they just call it. But something near the start of a race, you know, before 75%, where people would probably wait to take their tires, I just can't see it. But it is in the rulebook, so that is a weird one. Anyway, that was the racing. As I was mentioning, Bathurst was on this weekend. The Bathurst 12 Hours on iRacing. How did everyone do? I know I mentioned mine. I saw some of the guys in the RSR Super Trofeo and the World Series took part and had mixed results. One thing I was really interested in, I brought up at the start of the broadcast, 1 in 8 people did not get an off-track. That's right. I looked at the stats. Over 6,500 people took part in Bathurst this weekend. Of them, 542 drivers whose result was not invalidated or disqualified got 0x. If you include those that did not get recognised because of invalidation due to fair share or disqualification, you're looking at, well, it's the same thing, but you know what I mean. You're looking at another 100 people. I thought that can't be right. I mean, I know you can say it's not that hard to get an off, you know, not get an off track at Bathurst, but we've all seen the Twitch clips. We've all seen what happens when a big series like VRS or this happen, you know, or you start the Bathurst 12 when it's at nighttime. You just see all the chaos. So for 542 people not to get an off track, that's. I'd expect that at Le Mans. Matt Malone soloed with 1x. I got 1x in 2 hours. That's nothing. No, that, once again, Malone doing 12 hours is impressive. Again, for charity. That was really nice to see, if I'm honest. So he did well. Set the record. He set he did the most laps by anybody. Did 337 laps. Spare a fourth, though, for the two guys a two-man team who entered all 4 splits. I checked this. All 4 splits. They started P2, P2, P4, and I think the other one they started P6. They started all 4 splits, and they crashed out of all of them. Same 2 guys. You gotta feel for them. Feel for the guys that unfortunately had 101 incident points due to what looks to be an incident at the start of the race where one of them lost the internet. So they had a damaged car, kept it going. We're 162 laps down to the point that one of them, his only fastest lap was a 2-minute 25. They still finished the race, damage and all. So credit where credit is due, but I can't imagine doing Bathurst in a 2-minute 25 in a GT3. Must have been some serious damage, if I'm brutally honest. Skippy, maybe. No, I don't know. How long does it take to drive a Skippy around Bathurst? I've always been told I must do it when Skip Bar was at Bathurst. Never done it. It's a little bit, a little bit of afraid of new damage model mixed with walls that just close in on you. So I'm not sure, but yeah, Bathurst delivered. Unfortunately, our race was very quiet. We never saw anybody after the first 2 hours, as I was saying. Max Verstappen does a 2-minute 1-second lap around Bathurst. He qualified with a 2 minutes, 2.6, I think it was. Like, there's dominance and there's Max Verstappen. And he had a 0x, by the way. As you'd expect from, a guy that races street circuits for a living. So, some street circuits, he does race on proper tracks, but you get what I mean. But that dominance, I haven't seen anything like that since. Was it Gisbergen? No, it was the other. I think it was Van Gisbergen or another supercar driver who, when the ILMS might have been, ILMS went to Bathurst a couple of years ago, and one of these V8 supercar drivers took an LMP1, dominated the field by 3 seconds. His fastest lap was 3 seconds faster than anybody else. He had the fastest lap for the whole week, and I'm just there thinking, how? Because that was an LMP1. So we got a minute 15 left in qualifying. Not qualifying, practice. It's a 75-minute lap. 27, 2, 5, 7, 6, 2, 75. 75-minute race with 2 mandatory pit stops. And if you've ever seen a RacingSimRigs endurance race, you know what that means, because some of these guys took part in the World Series race at Daytona, which was one of the best races we have ever seen. They do their own endurance race this week as well. That promises to be... I can't wait for that. Cannot wait for that. But we're here right now. It's Monday night, which means it's Super Trofeo. We'll get to the World Series on Wednesday, but right now we're going to be watching a bunch of Lamborghinis go around Spa for 75 minutes. And I've just managed to tip some of my drink over me. No, not a lot. It's just leaking.
That is what I come back to. You tipping your drink, as always. Shaking my head.
It was at an angle. I thought, yeah, it's fine. And I just felt my hand like, why do I feel water? I said, why is that coming out there? But no, it's fine. I'm fine.
Let's see. Is this correct? This in sim time is 15:30.
15:50.
This has failed me.
How does your track say current time? Yeah, it said 15:45 at one stage. It just went straight to 15:30.
I was correct. I was.
Have you not? Has it got like one of these oven clocks that it's just faster than it's meant to be, or like it's slower than it's meant to be? You know what I mean?
Maybe that's what Apple uses, the oven clock, the patent pending oven clock. As usual, commentators are spilling drinks and drunk already. No, that's just Craig.
No, I actually took my first alcoholic drink last weekend, and in like 3 months, and I regretted it.
Don't worry about that, because they're about to get going. and they are sat just outside Stavla under the DHL sign coming up towards Blanchimont. And it's going to be pros, 11 pros and 13 amateurs. Lead amateur will be Matthew Sewell. Callum Bowman will be beside him. Van der Wedge and Jonas Dreyer are your lead professionals. And as they are coming up towards the start-finish line, this is Raidillon TV, the only corner you need. That wasn't Raidillon.
I wanted to ask you.
That isn't Raidillon. It has one famous silly person, me. As we get going around, Craig will take you away.
I will take you away because they're coming around the bus stop right now. We'll wait to see what Van der Wedge does. He can start now. Anytime he wants to start now, he can. He waits, guns it almost near the end. Nice little play there from Van der Wedge. He's just waiting his time. With a nice little hustle and bustle behind him. Dreyer will keep that as he's almost free wide at the back of the pro field. And everybody gets by. Little side-by-side action, though, between Dreyer and Danes. And Danes does have that inside. Well, the inside to the start. So it's the outside. But yes, Dreyer yields. Egby stays. Armstrong made up a couple places on that start. They all get by safely. The Taylor Lane does go off track, as does Harry Wills. We haven't talked about the amateurs. They're going on pretty safely. Christian Furs overtakes Callum Beaumont, as does Gilding on Hitchens. Chris Chatterson's gone down the order, but everybody gets by safe. Some of them just keeping it calm and cautious. A little battle between Christian Furs and Callum Beaumont and Daniel Gilding in the back of the amateurs, but the pros still going on. James Armstrong's had a big moment, though, in Lacoum. He's been taken out by his teammates. No, he hasn't. Yes, Milan Tekin's got a little bit of a touch, by, it looks like Harry Wills. I'm not entirely sure of it. Yeah, a little bit of a touch. Lost it, and Teekins goes into the back of his teammate Armstrong.
Let's have a look. Oh, please. Oh, please, Dynamic. Oh, well, you can feel it. Let's try and get that back. As you saw, he went wide coming up through Raidillon onto the Kemmel straight. He is in the red car. That is Milan Teekins in the green car. Let's see what on earth happened. None of these angles are good. None of these angles are good.
You see a little bit of a tap, though.
Oh.
You see a little bit of a tap.
And ouch.
But you can see Teekins was a little bit upset. Well, the car was upsetted by a little tap by Harry Wills. It was actually netcode. A little bit of a shame there. Of course, Wills not intending anything. And Bradbury's gone off at Blanchimont. Takes too much there. Wow, that car was sideways through Blanchimont. Lost it before. Well, he didn't even lose it on the Astro. Oh, I think he clipped the grass on the curb. That's a lot of damage there for the for Bradbury, for the pro driver.
Yeah, clipped the grass on the inside of Blanchimont. And oh dear, he is carrying a huge amount of damage, and I think he's running to the bits as best he can. Does he strike the inside? Oh my god, that car is crabbing. Like, when I say crabbing, it is very badly crabbing. Callum Bowman is trying to chase down Christian Furs, but the gap has already gone up to 2 seconds. Matthew Sewell is just trying to get away as best he can, and he sees the green and black in color of the Vector SimSport. Is it Vector SimSport? I don't know what it is.
It is Vector, yeah, it's RSR Vector.
RSR Vector, powered by Vector, powered by Buttkicker, powered by Vector Team.
No!
Car number 96 team. And he is being chased.
Doesn't have that.
The junior team may not have it, but they are part of RSR, so they still get the same joke.
The same joke, the same treatment.
Yeah, exactly. As they come through Bruxelles onto No Name, onto Buhan, just on a point that you made before, which was they do take a very shallow line coming through Lake Coombe on the second corner of Lake Coombe onto 3. So they take a very shallow line coming through 2 onto 3, and the amateurs are also doing the exact same thing. I'm pretty sure the GTEs take a much wider line, if I'm not mistaken.
It's the line I was actually taught. I had a lot of coaching around here as I tried to get better, and it was that line there. It's no Lake Coombe 3. Lake Coombe 3 is what's Malmedy. And you want to take the inside line as much. You want to hug the curb on that first part there, that right-hander, and then you want to lift off and take the apex early for the second one. But then your instinct is to go out wide to hit the apex, but you want to not touch that outside apex on the exit of Lake Coombe 2, because you want to get back to that left as fast as you can. So you just wait. So you don't wait. You basically just come earlier on the throttle, so you know, or later on the throttle, so you know you're going to be, missing that later on. Then you're in the middle of the track. You can slide back to the left as fast as you can to set yourself up for just a little bit of a lift as you go through Malmedy. It's a weird line to take, because all of your instincts are saying, "There's the apex. I've got to track out there," but you don't, and it really does confuse people.
Chris Danes and Jonas Dreyer going side by side. Oh, well, Chris Danes actually let Jonas Dreyer right by, and he didn't fight that at all. Just sort of let Dreyer go by and say, "Oh, well, if you want to go, go. I ain't fighting you." As is Milan Tikins. Oh, and Taylor Lane battling it out now. The outside line being occupied by Milan Tikins coming down into Bruxelles. Covering the inside.
Oh, he tried to... Sorry, you could see Lane was trying to do that. That was crazy. You can see none of these guys want to give they don't want to give an inch to either of them. And look at that, that's cost them. Both of them just took an off track there. Lane unfortunately loses that position, but he did not go down without a fight. And I've got to wonder, with that heavy hit that Tikins had earlier, he doesn't have any noticeable damage to the front of that car. How, why, I don't know, but with a lot of slipstream, Taylor Lane might be able to keep this. Well, might be able to keep in this battle. He needs to. He needs to keep up, and be interesting to see, especially when we're talking 2 mandatory pit stops. You want to try and do fuel saving as much as you can. That's what the guys at the front are doing, while Tanguy has just gone, see ya, just in his own little bubble. Yeah, the rest are like kind of trying to work together for fuel saving. Dreher's just got Danes in the slipstream. Egby's there behind Danes. Eggerson's behind them. Harry Wills is just trying to catch up. Then, of course, you've got Tikins and Taylor Lane doing their own little thing. So the pros are just setting itself up. You
can actually just see the gap right now. It's 2nd through 6th now that it's in their own little line. And you just see Van der Wedge just on his own there. And Jonas Dreher, I imagine it's just like, "Please, Wedge, can I have some slipstream? Some slipstream?"
There's a clip of me that on Twitch, which when we talk about slipstream, which I won't bring up because it's not PG, but been doing the round for the oval drivers recently. It happened during Daytona week. A very funny clip. I was told to get the slipstream. That's the PG way of saying it, and I said I'm getting it as good as I can, and yeah. I'll have to dig it out for you. It's very funny.
Oh dear.
I'll have to dig it out for you. It's fantastic. It's fantastic.
You poor thing.
It was all done on purpose.
Did you ever hear? Well, no. Do you ever hear the words? You walked right into that one. This you walked right into that one would have been this massive like castle door, and you were just like, charge. With your wee little sword, just going, yeah, charge, and bang.
Hey, I won the Carb Cup race, okay? That's all that mattered.
Oh, crikey, Jonas. Oh, no. Oh, no, that's 2 cars gone off. That's Louis Eggerton as well. The 2 of them losing it, coming through Puhan. Sorry, I was actually just thinking that I would see the cameras go by without a hitch. What on earth?
Both of them did the same. It almost looks like when braking, the car just said no. Interesting that Eggerson's car was moving. Yeah, I can just see on the replay. There's a tweak just on the braking. Might have been that little dip in the curb. might have just caused Eggerson's car just to upset there. I've almost had that this week. Jonas Dreyer, he loses it. Did he? Yeah.
He lost it much worse. He tried recovering it, and then the car, for the second time, the car in a row, like within 2 seconds, the car said no, and the car, he tried correcting it, and he was about to correct it, and then the car said no. So
Eggerson gets lucky in the sense that he only lost one spot, but he doesn't lose a spot because he goes up a spot. He goes into 5th. Dreyer's the one that loses out here. He goes from 2nd all the way to 8th, but he's right behind Taylor Lane. Then he's got Milan Tikin. Then he's got Eggerson 2 seconds up the road. So these guys are in their own little battle, in their own little bubble right now. Not battle, bubble. Because like I like to say when it comes to this type of racing, it's almost like a peloton. It's almost like you are in the Tour de France or the Giro d'Italia, and you just want to find groups to just ride along with, to just keep together, fuel save, go as hard as you can. Don't go as hard as you can. Keep it safe, fuel save, set yourself up when you come for the second pit.
I thought you were about to, double down on keeping, fuel save, but go as hard as you can.
Yeah.
And it's just like, Craig, hang on a minute, Craig.
It's like people were having a bit of a complaint about IMSA for LMP2 next season could just be a fuel save battle, so you don't zero stop. And some people were saying, but fuel saving and not doing stops is boring. I'm like, no, fuel saving's fun. I mean, Rob, remember Le Mans? Remember trying to fuel save to do 13 laps? Oh no! That Eggerson gone off. Sorry, back out of my 4. Eggerson's gone again.
At the same corner, plane. Yeah.
Oh, and the car did what happened to Dreyer.
Just looking now. Let's have a look at the... There we go. And what?
Again, same thing.
Look at this, right? Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. It's Eggerson. Like, it's this car, right? I'm just gonna put it in slow-mo real quick. He's going in, just fine. No. What?
It was at that moment he knew.
He effed up. No. He effed up. It was at this moment he knew. He effed up. And it's just like, I don't know how to describe it, but the car's going in fine, and then it just said, there's no other way of really putting it, it just says no. And just outright refuses to even be a car anymore. I've never seen that.
I've never seen that, if I'm honest. Bizarre.
I feel like Eggy, as we call him now, we call Louis Eggerson Eggy. I feel like he was very confused by what the car... magnetic curbs. Slevent with the brilliant comparison. It felt like magnetic curbs. Oh, and he's going very well. I think he wants to just get past Matthew Sewell and just, get over the embarrassment of losing it twice in the same...
It never happened.
Corner. Yeah. He's just like, no, cameras, please don't pick me up. It never happened. No.
Oh, it never happened. I was having my talk.
I never lost it at Puhan. No. Couldn't be me.
I lost it at Double Gulch, but Raidillon TV don't call it Double Gulch. So no, I never lost it at Puhan.
Do I lose it at Puhan if they don't call it Puhan?
I was saying, by the way, it's Louis Eggerson trying to get by Matthew Sewell. That's going to hold up as Christian Firth comes. I was saying, Rob, you remember the days of doing the Le Mans 24 where you had to save for 13 laps while also being fast, right? You remember those days?
Yes, I do. I
Now,
chiefly
they were fun,
remember.
Weren't they? That was a fun challenge to fuel save and be fast. So when people say, as much as it's annoying that not having a pit stop in a 45-minute race at LMP2s is going to be boring, to fuel save and still be quick enough to win a race without doing a pit stop in some of those races next season for IMSA it's going to be a fun challenge for some of those cars. So I don't see where the lack of fun is.
I mean, to be fair, when we were fuel saving, we were trying to aim for 317s.
Yeah.
In the LMP1 back. This is back in 2019 now, so a lot has changed since then. But I distinctly remember getting in my Audi, in my tractor down in the country, and I mean, to be honest, there's no better vehicle to be in the Audi R18 in the middle of the French countryside. I mean, you can make all the hilarious tractor jokes that you want. But at the very same time, it was quite honestly a hell of a lot of fun. Simply because this is the key thing. You try and go for 13 laps. No car in the LMP1, either the 919 or the R18, can't do 13 laps unless you either change the fuel load or the fuel usage, or you fuel save. By that, lifting, coasting, you know, extending your braking zones out to the absolute maximum. Like when I say, you know,
you're braking like 50 meters before you should be braking, even 100 meters sometimes. It was great fun. You just don't get that anymore. It really what got me into LMP1s. Like, it got me, you know, just that idea. Like, you have to do Le Mans and you have to push for 13 laps, but also have to be quick. You know, anybody can get in an LMP1 and sprint race and do 316.
Armstrong is off again. His day's gone from bad to worse, and I think that's... The car said no again. The car said no again. He tried turning in. The car just kept going straight.
Wow. The car just had a little bit of a left turn as well. Very weird. By the way, John Estrella takes back P6. He got past Taylor Lane. Had to fight for it, but managed to get by it. Matthew Sewell holding off Louis Eggerson and Christian Furs right now. Daniel Gilding
and Harry Wills, for the first time, I think, has made an overtake in the Super Trofeo series. He's overtaken Will Egby for third place, coming up through the bus stop just past Blanchimont. And now...
Why are you going to be like that to the plan? His first overtake. His first overtake. Why are you going to be like that?
In the Super Trofeo series. I mean, that could still be correct, right?
Do you want to replay it so you can clip it and be like, my first overtake?
With a smiley face on it. It's like, on my first overtake, smile. But, like, it's... With the reduced field, it's like, it's... In the amateurs, it's actually exceptionally close right about now, because Christian Furs, Callum Beaumont, and Sewell... I mean, there's a pro of Louis Eggerson in the middle. We'll get back to that. But they are indeed fighting. You know, they are fighting. And they're pretty close to each other. And now we have Harry Wills. He's actually just started charging past Egby. And Egby's already half a second behind him. And he's charging towards Chris Danes, who's falling backwards away from... Look, Van der Wedge has a gap of 5 seconds. This man's on his own. This man is just like, suspicious. There's nobody else on track. What's going on? Like, this is his view right now. We're on board with him, and yeah, there's just nobody.
Sunday drive. Sunday drive for him.
It's 28 days later, except it's a car.
Oh. Yeah, but he'll see lap cars and he'll be like, "Ooh." So. Oh, we mentioned that battle at the top 3 of the amateurs, and the gap between Beaumont and Furs is really close. Actually, Furs has lost the position to Beaumont. Sorry, we did miss that. That was actually... Oh, Furs lost it at Pouhon. He goes sideways at Pouhon and keeps it on. Loses P3. Behind them, by the way, is Matthew Draycott and Andy Hitchens, as those two are battling as well. That's for 4th and 5th. And then you've got Lyden Lee and Chris Chatterton for 6th and 7th behind them as well. So little pockets of battles happening at the moment in the amateur field. Doubt we'll see any overtakes at the moment. But Christian Furs Well, that's the guy he's battling in the championship right in front of him. And ideally, he'd like to...
Major Cole Brown moment from Mr. Furs. I don't think he
was fine.
I mean, it's fine, but I mean, I'd say he was screaming in that cockpit going, no. Okay, I'm fine, thank you. No,
yeah,
no.
The words would be, don't hit the wall, don't hit the wall, don't hit the wall, don't hit the wall. Ooh.
Don't be overtaken, no. But he has lost.
No. There's 55. There's only been 20 minutes gone, Rob. If you got overtaken right now, I don't think you'd be too angry.
Wait, it's 20 minutes gone already. Oh my crikey! It's
if you're like, if you're like what happened to Jonas Dreyer, you go from P2 to like P8. That's when you've got to start worrying, because that's a big drop, even at the start of a race. To try and make that back is going to be really hard, especially when he's lapping the same as the guys in front. How's he going to make up those 15 seconds or 10 seconds? It's going to be tough for him at the end of the day.
I mean, to be fair, I need to stop saying that, by the way. To be fair. While we do have we do have Matthew Sewell finally being overtaken by Louis Egerton. I think Sewell has let him by finally after noticing that the gap behind him is now just at 1.5 seconds. So Sewell riding the waves for Eclipse Racing. The boys in black and pink toys and cyan and white. Other colors are available. He is actually doing very well for the Eclipse boys in his Lamborghini. And that's Louis Egerton. Oh my goodness gracious. And I saw that happening from... Oh dear. You could see that happening from the camera, by the way. Watch this.
The worst thing was he held the brakes. He held the brakes as he tried to get it going. The brakes with ABS... The brakes are not going to help you when you're sliding in a GT3. You
could tell. Oh my goodness gracious. Louis is going to be mad at me because I cursed him. The cameras were on him. The pressure was on. And
he almost crashed. He's almost crashed in the pit lane.
Oh, I feel like Louis is not having a good day today. He needs a hug.
Are you going to go out and give him a hug?
Yeah, I'll give him a hug. Don't worry. Come here, Eggy. Don't worry. It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
That leaves us with 7 pros at the front of the field. James Armstrong still, somehow driving with a wing. Hey, he's doing lap times just like me. I might be able to beat him.
So what you're saying is Armstrong with the damaged car is as fast as you with the pristine car.
I was driving a BMW, okay?
Okay.
Harry Wills, by the way, has caught up to Chris Daines. The gap is 1.2. I'm moving away quickly just so I can ignore. Harry Wills doing a stellar job. As again, I'm knocking on wood. Like I said, there's no wood, so I'm tapping my head. As I've said, that is the rules. That is how it works. The gap is 1.2 between Daines and Wills. Last lap was a 2:17.833 for Wills against Daines 2:18.318. So really doing the work, and he's in that position now where he doesn't need to push because he could win it in the pits if he wanted to. So he's just going to be rocking behind Chris and just doing what he needs to do and waiting for the opportunity. I'd be curious to see what the lap times are this time around.
Well, hang on, just as interjecting on that point in particular, he said he could win it in the pits. It depends. It depends on how much fuel Wills can save. Does he? Well, and also more to the point, does he sit behind Daines? Does he figure himself faster? Because there's no point sitting behind somebody that you're going to be faster than anyway. Only sit behind somebody that you're either just above or at pace with.
But at the same time, especially with Spa, it's a slipstream track roll. And if you feel that you are faster through the corners against the car that you're battling, you get by him, then you got the issue is, whoa, he's just going to be fast as me because he's got the slipstream. And that's going to then put in, you know, you see it in Monza, you see it when it comes to like Spa, Daytona as well. It's always the same. The guy you're battling thinks he's faster because he's got slipstream, when in reality, you're faster because you take the corners faster. But you still got that issue.
But I mean, like, over the last 3 laps, on average, I think it's just over 0.4 of a second that Harry was a bit faster than Dane's. And as soon as I said that,
Rob, I am buying you a piece of wood. Okay, just buying you a piece of wood you can hang up beside your desk, and every time you need to say something, we'll just hear on the broadcast.
I'm so sorry. Oh no. Oh, I am so sorry.
I have no words.
As soon as I said he's 3 to 4 tenths faster on average per lap, and he spins, and it's like, Harry, you couldn't have picked a worse time to do this to me. Oh dear.
Well, now he's in a battle with Will Egby again, but he is faster than Will. So we'll wait and see what happens there. Oh dear. Back to the amateurs quickly. There's a nice little battle, like I was saying, for P4 and P5 between Draycott and Hitchkins. Andy Hitchkins is battling with Matthew Draycott, being better, looking like he's feeling better on the brakes as they come to the bus stop. Maybe if he gets a good run in La Source, he might be able to, with the gaps of half a second, so he won't do it now. It'll be interesting when they come out of Eau Rouge and Raidillon and down the Kemmel Straight to see what Andy decides to do on Draycott. They come down to La Source. 2 tenths faster was Hitchkins over Draycott that last lap. Little bit of a slide. Trying to get the throttle on as early as he can out of La Source there. Shouldn't hinder him too much. I'm also just thinking, though, we are coming up to the half-hour mark. I'm thinking pit stops might be needed shortly, but we'll wait and see. Maybe this is why Hitchkins hasn't gone for a move yet. Gap at 0.3, 0.2. He's not going to be able to make anything here.
Well, if they piss it now and then piss it at the exact same, so they've done 12. All drivers that are still running have done 12 laps. So on the current stint, it'd be 12 laps. If they did 13 and 13, they'd be in plenty time for dinner. They would also be in plenty time for the end of the race. They would still have a load of fuel. They would be able to play with overcutting and undercutting on that second stop. But it also depends on if they are in position to do so. And by the way, we just missed this. This happened. Where was it? This happened.
Oh, it was on the Kemmel Straight. It was on the Kemmel Straight. Egby just had the speed, and Wills decided not worth it and just yielded. So he's now behind. What's happened to Tanguy? Is he pitting? He just had a. Yeah, he's pitting. I called it. Brandon Wedge comes into the pits.
And Chris Danes
he's in his own little battle. Yeah, he's in his own little bubble, though.
He's in his own little world. And Chris Danes now takes the lead of professional, but it won't be for long. He'll have to pit himself as well. 2 mandatory pit stops you mentioned at the start of the race, Craig. So he'll have to pit.
Oh, lead amateur in as well. Sewell in.
Is Beaumont. As is Furs, yes.
And Draycott.
And Hitchkins.
How about Chatterton? Come on, Chris.
Yeah.
Yes, Chris.
Come on, everybody in. Everybody in.
Line. Here you go.
Yeah,
Dennis.
come on.
Dennis
breaks the chain. He's the combo breaker. 7. I think that's 7. 7 amateurs.
Hamilton comes in. What about Dave South? No. So, wow. Practically all the amateurs just came into the pit at one time. I don't think I've seen that before. That was weird.
It's like Drummer Boy, like the into the pit I go with my friends and coming. I try to make that right.
No, we're doing Christmas songs.
Going into the pit I go with my little drummer crow, and I'm going to fuel. I mean,
you're singing a Christmas song in March.
It's Christmas somewhere. And I've just cursed another man. And there goes Dennis. He's having a mistake on Lake Coombe. I really should just...
Did you do it again?
I did, yeah.
You didn't even talk about Dennis, though.
I said Dennis didn't bit. I didn't knock on wood.
That's not a curse.
I didn't knock on wood, though. I think it's now just anything I say just means that there's a disaster looming.
Okay.
Milan Tikins, by the way, catching up to the rear end of Harry Wills. Harry Wills posted a 2:19.687 that last lap, and he is trying to catch up to the rear end of Will Egby, who posted in 2:18.856. Now, two of them are actually coming into the pits. Here they come. Everybody in. You get a pit stop. You get a pit stop. Jonas Stray, you get a pit stop. Taylor Lane, you get a pit stop. So, Landon Wedge probably will take it all back. Please don't make a mistake. I will give my life. Okay, he did not make a mistake. Thank the heavens.
I'm knocking on wood for you. I'm knocking on my wood for you. I mean, my head for you.
That's your new use of wood, is it?
I told you. If you say knock on wood and you can't find a piece of wood to knock on, you knock on your head. That's what I've always been told.
Right. So first out of the pits will be definitely Chris Daines. Off he goes, ahead of everybody else. He's gonna have a nice.
Oh, look at Drea.
Drea's going.
Drea's back there.
Is he going for an undercut?
Well, did he save fuel?
No, Taylor Lane's made a mistake. He came out of his box quite slowly. I mean, not too bad compared to the rest of them, but he was very slow coming out of the box. He's down about a few tenths. According to the top stopwatch, Matthew Sewell has now retaken the lead. Callum Bowman 1.5 seconds behind him. Christian Firth 1.7. Matthew Draycott is up into fourth, with Andy Hitchens still behind him in sixth. Dave South about to be overtaken by Chris Chatterton, as Chatterton also tries and gains back to the rear end. He's 7 seconds behind though, so it's a bit of a stretch for the L boy. Whereas the Marconi operators back in the day used to say "old man," OM in Morse code. If you knew, you knew. It's a camaraderie, like, kind of greeting, like you say "what's up, fam?" in today's it's today's what's good, bruv, you know.
Oh, okay. I'll tell you what is good, bruv. This battle between Harry Wills and Will Egby. I've done it again with my segues. You set him up, I'll hit him out the park. Harry Wills battling Will Egby once again. And he's right on at the tail. You see, if this was the prototype, I'd be saying, oh, watch out down here at I've forgotten the name. Blanchemont. How did I forget that name? Because of you, every time I think of this corner, I think of Raidillon. I get the Blanchemont. If you get a prototype car, a high downforce car, I'd be thinking, yeah, there's an overtake opportunity here. I don't see Wills making any type of overtaking opportunity right here. He might make me eat my words. He does. Late move into the bus stop. Get to the apex with what? Whoa! Egby probably gave him that. Or did he? I'm going to have to watch back from Egby's position. Egby just couldn't turn in. A great move from Harry Wills. Retakes P4.
I mean,
now he's also do.
This is on board with Egby, and I mean, just couldn't get it to turn. Note to self on a Wednesday: don't touch the no-no curve. I mean, I feel so bad for you, Louis. I mean, I cursed you twice, and then I cursed Harry in a big way. Like, when I say big way, oh dear. And Egby looking on the inside. Oh my god, he sent it. He almost had a collision with Harry Wills, who was not expecting him to come in that aggressive. Whew, crikey, that was a turn up for the books.
And here comes Milan Tikins. Mr. Too Wide is now in a sandwich between two Project Dynamic drivers, and he almost took it too wide for quite a while there with Egby. Now he might have to take it too wide through Pujon with Tikins. Tikins may look to make a move here into Pujon, decides against it. Will survives, but now he's on the hot seat. He's in P5 at the moment as Egby takes that position back. He could go down to P6. He's just got to take his moves carefully here. Look at him turning in early for Leithorn over Egby, who takes it a little bit later, that late apex, and still battling a little bit of a tweak. It's all okay. It's all okay. That's not an important corner to have a tweak on. Now these are the corners that you don't want to make mistakes. And Wills is right on the back of Egby's bumper. Tikins is just going to be watching this right here. He's in a nice little position. Surely Wills does not try and force this through Blanchimont. In fact, he isn't. He's just going to wait. I bet he will lift a look. He hits the brakes. Hits the brake. That may upset his rhythm. It has not. Going to go for a bus stop move once again. Egby realizes it. Wills is going to try and go around the outside. This is why he's Mr. Too Wide for a reason. He does make it too wide. They hit. Both of them stay together. Wills gets the hit again. Wills stays together. Watch an eye. Keep your eyes on Tikins. He's right there looking for a move. There's nowhere overlap for him to go, though. As again, these two in front. Egby. Wills goes too wide. Egby gets a little bit of a lead over Wills. Still a little bit touching by them. Ooh, that was a little bit trying to get back on the track. Wills had nowhere to go. Can't go too wide up Eau Rouge and Raidillon, and Egby goes to the back. Rob, I think we're going to see a free wide down the Kemmel Straight.
If we do, then we will definitely keep the eyes glued on Harry Wills is leading. The Milan Tikins coming down Kemmel Straight, and that's on the inside. It is a Schumacher. The Schumacher move is trying to be deployed on the outside, and Mika Hakkinen on the inside. Keeping it on the inside, he yields though. That's on the outside. The Mika Hakkinen has not worked. If you don't know what I'm referring to, Mika Hakkinen past Michael Schumacher coming through 3 wide on the inside on the grass with barely any vision of what he was doing, and he just sent it because, quote, he had enough.
Tikins tried to go too wide and trying to make that move on Wills, but like I said, he's not called Mr. Too Wide without a reason, and he managed to get it through. Leithorn's too wide. He's going to try and make it too wide through Pujon. Tikins can't make it, though. There's no gap there as these three continue to battle for 5th, 4th, and 6th. And why have I said in that order? I don't know. Let's just reset a little bit. I think everything's fine. Let's reset and go to the amateurs while this is happening, Rob, because I think the amateurs now, they're only half a second between Sewell and Beaumont as they continue to battle. You've still got Draycott and Hitchens battling for 4th and 5th in the back. These guys are still going on. We're trying to keep on all 4 corners of the earth right now as there's battles everywhere. Gaps are just great. The Midland Sim Racing, by the way. So you've got Beaumont fighting with Sewell at the front. You've got Annie Hitchkin, battling with Matthew Draycott for 4th. That's about 10 seconds behind as well. I'm just curious to see, does Beaumont make a move here? He's not far enough. Think he won't. By the way, Milan Tikins did get that P5 over Harry Wills at the bus stop, so the Project Dynamic guys just need to thinking about, can we get away now? We need to get away, and they're unable to at the moment. Woo! Wow. Rob, you're not transmitting.
Hello?
There we go. I thought to myself,
I don't know.
Gone quiet all of a sudden. His light went on. I was like, what's going on?
No, my microphone was just like, I'll go quiet. But nothing a good reset won't do. And what I was actually saying was, Callum Beaumont and Matthew Stewart are 2 dots on the speck of the map for Furs. Like, I mean, he sees them. Nothing he can do about them. He just sees them. He's going to continue racing them. But on that last lap, he was actually the slowest of the 3. So you'll need to absolutely start hitting his mark to be able to get back into the gear. And look at this, Harry Wills. He's been overtaken by Milan Tikins. Oh, I saw what happened. Oh, at the final hairpin, he made the mistake. He overextended himself. He tried overtaking Will Egby on the inside and just missed it completely. And that let Milan Tikins right on by on the outside coming through the bus stop. And he has got all of that work now to get back into contention.
Oh, car on the track sideways. It's Mark Fleming, sorry. They get by? Yeah, they get by. That was a bit of a nervous moment there as Mark Fleming's had a moment at, where else? Blanchimont. And was blocking the track almost. Managed to get out the way. I was worried there for a moment. I've still got my Bathurst radio on, Rob. I've still got car sideways. Must be dangerous. But nope. Nothing dangerous at the moment. Do the Project Dynamic guys pull away, though, is the question I was saying earlier. Wills has proven to be really quick today. I'm knocking on my head, don't worry. Really quick today. Be interesting to see what he does. He might pull a Jonas Dreyer. He might underfuel. Or he might short pit. Be wait and see what Wills decides to do here.
And as the Lamborghini engines sing, correction, that's actually Audi engines sing. But I'll still call them Lamborghini engines because that sounds cooler. Twisted. I was about to say Twisted Metal. It's a PS1 game. I played it once and I liked it. And PS2, yes, but I played on the PS1. That's all that counts. Twisted. Oh, I forgot the second word.
Twisted Racing.
I thought there was a second word. No.
I thought it was just Twisted Racing. Yeah, it's just Twisted Racing Team. That's all it is. How can you forget this, Rob?
Look, you know, it just so happens that my brain is
Taylor Lane.
Taylor Lane. The way that you interrupted, it just sounded like we said my brain is Taylor. Oh no! And
that's a nasty one.
His engine's dead.
He's dead, Jim.
No, not like this. Look at how... Oh my goodness gracious. Hang on, I need to rewind just to see. Look at this, right? Just one bump. Bang, there it is. And... bye. The car just says, bye. It didn't even give him the courtesy. Now. Yes, exactly.
My people need me.
It didn't even give him the courtesy of saying goodbye, Mr. Bond. It just said goodbye.
Do you expect me to talk?
Do you expect me?
No. I expect you to drive.
Well, I'm trying to use figures of speech, okay? But I think Taylor Lane can take solace in the fact that plenty of people are having issues with this car. And it's not through just lack of trying, it is just sheerly because it is not the easiest car to drive.
Oh, Harry Wills. Harry Wills is trying to force the issue at Blake Coombs on Milan Tikins. And he might make this. Oh, Tikins. Oh. A little bit of pushing almost there from Tikins going down into Bruxelles. Wills trying to find gaps, trying to find where he can go. They touch again. Down into No Name. I think it's got a name now, isn't it? It's Jackie X, isn't it?
Yeah, we don't call it that. We call it No Name.
It's still No Name. Like this is still Pujon to me. Wills is battling hard. There's 31 minutes remaining. So we're looking in the next 15 minutes for the final pit stops, maybe 10. You know, Harry's got to think to himself, can I afford losing slipstream by I'm sorry, Harry. I'm sorry. Almost spinning again. Almost spinning again at lane 4. But if he battles with Teekins, it actually works for him. If he battles with Teekins, he takes Egby out of the equation. Not a good thing in the long run. But if Wills takes Egby out of the equation with Teekins, Teekins can't use his teammate to help him. Do you see where I'm coming from? He needs to be with his teammate because that gives him a buffer. They can almost go too wide and Wills has got nowhere to go. Like they did almost at Lake Coon. So he needs his teammate now, does Teekins. Not that you say, Will, slow down, I need help. But it's getting to the stage where Teekins does need that help. And the gap is 0.7. That's not enough. If Wills gets a good Eau Rouge and Raidillon, you can think Wills might be wanting that P5.
The 30-minute mark has just been reached. It is 30 minutes to go. 45 minutes have gone in this race. And we are embroiled in a three-way duel between Egby, Teekins, and Wills. Wills, unfortunately, has all to make up for it. And then we have this man. His name is Tanguy van der Wesch. He's almost 12 seconds ahead of everybody.
Well, that whole plan I was talking about just went away as Teekins managed to catch onto the back of Egby. But look at the line. Wills took up Lake Coombe, and he's right on the bumper again. We'll wait and see what happens. Apparently, Chris has had an oopsie. No, everything's okay for Christian first. We'll keep an eye on that. There is a second gap between first and second in the amateurs. We will keep our eyes on this, but how can you take your eyes off these three drivers? Just like, if it wasn't for the fact it was two Project Dynamic cars at the front, you could bet that Harry would be going for overtakes. But right now, it's fuel save for the Twisted Racing driver.
It doesn't look like he's even fuel saving at that, because he's being quite aggressive. He's trying to get past. Like, he's giving the indications to the other driver that he is trying to get past. Like, there's no two bits about it. Like, he is trying to get past. He is trying to regain fifth position on track. I mean, he's not even holding many of the lines that we would, we would consider, lines that it would be indicative of wanting to fuel save to the maximum. He's glued to the rear end, but he is also pushing out to the sides of each of the cars. So he is definitely wanting to send it. So, is he actually fuel saving, or is he just using more? He's using the same amount of fuel, but trying to use the slipstream to go faster.
Well, I think the only one out of these three, if they are fuel saving, would be Egby, because that gap just came down so quickly. Would not surprise me, but we'll wait and see. Once again, a bad source there for Teekins as Wills gets on. That was a lift. Now that was a lift there from Wills, but he had no choice going up Eau Rouge. Should not affect him. I say that. Come on, Harry. Come on, Harry. Please don't do that just as I'm saying that, but should be possible. You won't be able to do anything here, but just watch how close Harry gets to them through Lake Coon. No, hang on 1 second. The Project Dynamic guys are side by side. And Teekins is going to take the inside.
Oh, and Harry chose the wrong line. He was sticking behind Teekins. He was expecting him to be the car to follow. And the car was actually, the follow was to be Will Egby, actually. Will Egby successfully defended his position away from Mr. Milan Teekins as they come down for yet another bout of Harry and Milan as they come up through Puhan 1 and 2. Doesn't make a move this time around, but he is actually much closer to Wills than Milan is to Egby. And so Egby has a little bit of a breathing room, and he can try and get away and just let the two behind him start doing battle and then see what he can do in terms of catching up. But he's 12 and a half repeat after me, 12 and a half seconds behind Jonas Dreyer alone.
But Jonas Dreyer, I mean, we gotta keep an eye on this battle, and there's so many battles going on right now. Dreyer's caught to the back of Chris Daines, by the way. That gap is starting to shrink. We'll get back to that because it looks like Harry Wills wants to try and take it side by side through Blanchimont. No, Harry, you can't do it. You can't do it.
He tried.
He can't. He tried, but cannot be done. They'll reset again. Yeah, let's just get back to that battle, by the way, as they come down the source. Chris Daines versus Jonas Dreyer. The gap has gone out to 0.7. Dreyer last lapped at a 2:18.785 compared to 2:18.915 for Chris Daines. Daines has been in the high 2:18s for a lot of the time, whereas Dreyer has been in the mid to low 2:18s a lot of the time. So really started working on tightening that screw and getting back has Dreyer, but just losing the slipstream. But that short pit is vital for him right now. I'm really interested to see what happens in his second stop, because Dreyer's actually that short pit stop might have paid off for him when you realize that these three guys are just battling belts and braces behind him. So might be a good play. And then of course behind those three is still that battle for the lead of the amateurs between Sewell and Beaumont. They've not gotten close enough for Callum to go, I want to make a move. But he can still try, and again, still, that battle for P4 in the amateur, Draco, Hitchkins, it's the same thing. Just hold a line, wait, save fuel, and we'll do it all in the final pit stops.
The two Midland sim racers are battling for key positions. Andy Hitchkins is trying to battle to get up into 4th position against Matthew Draycott, and Callum Beaumont is trying to battle for the lead against Eclipse. Matthew Sewell putting in good work and trying to fend off Callum Beaumont behind him. He's been keeping them there for the last 9-10 laps.
I think the start of the race. Yeah, no. Once they got rid of Louis Eggerson, which would have been 10 laps ago. Yeah, you're right. Sorry.
And he's just been trying to keep him there, like more so as just like, please, let's just keep our distance. You can try and overtake me, but it's not beneficial for either of us because it brings in Christian Ferris. We don't want that. Thank you. He wouldn't be saying that in that sarcastic way, but you get the idea. As Harry Wills is trying to again looking on the outside of the car number 54 of Milan Tikins. He's not able to make the execution. So once again, reset, redo, go. And Jonas Dreyer's in the pits.
Yeah, he's in the pits. Well, obviously he's short pitted, so he's got a plan. And will it pay off for him? It's a very interesting plan. We'll wait and see. But again, he was what, 13 seconds away, ahead of these guys. So I think he can afford it. Maybe, you know, just maybe. It might have been a stroke of genius though after losing P2. And Harry Wills got a really good run up Raidillon, and is now side by side with Tikins. But Tikins has got the inside to the first corner of Lake Coombe. Is he going to do another 2 wide here? Wills trying to make it 2 wide, trying to force it there. The overlap's gone. The overlap back there. Still keeping it 2 wide with Tikins into Malmedy. Cannot keep it 2 wide. He's trying to go to the inside. Tikins blocks off the inside. Can he go around the outside of Bruce Stells? It's going to be a tough one. He might go for the over-under. He is going over-under. But there's nowhere to go. The corner's so slow. Nowhere for him to go, and he has to reset again. That is such a tough corner to make a move on at Malmedy. At Bruxelles, because you have to take a lot of speed if you want to make that to work. But it's one of the slowest corners on the track. Sans the bus stop.
We can see we're on board with Harry Wills. He's looking in the rear end of Milan Tikins. And Tikins is absolutely doing everything he can to not allow the twisted racing car of Harry Wills back into 5th, back into the top 5. Let's not have it. Let's not ruin the day where coming up towards the rear end of Tikins. It took a lot more of a Tikins. He's slowing down a lot coming through. Stavlot and what was this, the other corner?
Well, you've just gone past that. I can't remember the first. I can't remember the first one, but the second one is definitely Stavlot. They're side by side. This is dangerous. This is dangerous. Round the outside of Blanchimont goes Wills, and he makes it. Makes it count. Now the bus stop. Does Teekins go for a late move? He's going to try the overlap. Going to try it. That's the late overlap. So much so he hits the sausages. Going to be compromised, and he almost touches Wills, and they touch again. And somehow Teekins goes around the outside of Wills. Now, hold on 1 second, says Harry. He wants to try and do this through the source. Does he get the overlap into the source? Teekins has to make a move. These guys are battling belts and braces. Wills gets P4 again. Now, we don't expect anything up Eau Rouge. We'll wait for the Camel Straight. I mean, these guys have just traded positions, what, 3 times in the last... Oh my word, Harry Wills goes flying off Eau Rouge, and Teekins gets it perfect. Wow.
We'll have a replay in just a second. I just want to see if any other moves are being made. Does Harry Wills make it on the inside? No, he does not. He is more than content to sit behind. Let's go ahead and see what happened to Harry Wills. We are on board now with Harry coming through the replay. 20 minutes to go, by the way, on your clocks. And the car just slides out of Raidillon, almost taking the back end with it. And he just has to say, there you go, Teekins. Here's the 5th place back, King.
But that whole thing about Teekins not having help, there it is. These guys are battling so hard that Will Egby has just flown away. The gap is now 3 seconds between Teekins' Wills to Egby. So this helps Wills, because now there's no slipstream for Teekins. He has to do it on his own. Now, he does have some defenses up his sleeves. He does know how to defend, but it's going to be tough. Wills won't be able to get that run like he did to make it too wide through Blanchimont like he did last time. But once he goes through Blanchimont, Teekins has to get to that inside as fast as he can. Van der Wedge in the pit, by the way. And look at Wills. Takes the right, takes the left, trying to find a place. There's no chicane there. He just wants the speed. A little bit of a lift through Blanchimont. He tried to keep as much speed. Teekins, again, will be forced to go defensive. He isn't. And Wills decides no. Now, is this because they're coming into the pits? Egby says no. So they're not. So Van der Wedge, again, comes in early. When does everybody else pit? We'll keep an eye on the amateurs, because I think they've pitted around the same time. So we'll keep an eye on them as Chris Chatterton's gone off. Chatterton's off. And, oh, he lost it. Oh, such a weird place to lose it there. Lost it at campus. Top 3 amateurs do pit, by the way.
Well, I mean, he backed out of it quick, but it's a very slow, like, what's it called? Very slow slide. Like, as he said, around campus especially, it's a very weird place to actually start losing the car. But he kind of lost it in a graceful way, if there ever could be a way to lose a car. No, we're not saying he actually lost the car as in, like, he doesn't know where it is. He lost it as in, like, they lost control of the car.
Oh, Beaumont gets ahead of Sewell. Beaumont gets ahead of Sewell, which is crucial for Sewell in terms of that battle for the lead. They've got Matthew Heatrick, who has not pitted yet. Now splits the 2 of them. That's going to be an issue. I'll tell you one big issue I've noticed is Van der Wedge is on the back of the battle between Teekins and Wills. He's come out the pits, and he's a second and a half between those 2. And I think the last thing he wants to see right now is 2 guys in the pro field battling tooth and nail. I mean, for one, okay, oh, he's going to lose his 15-second or 10-second lead. On the other hand, he's got a chance that he may get caught up in a wreck here. So just got to be careful as these guys continue to battle. Eyes on Chris Daines. If Chris Daines goes into the pits, expect these 3 to go into the pits. Lap 25 would not yet. Not yet. When do they go into the pits, Rob? Come on. You're the one with
guesstimating
the RGS.
Yeah, the RGS, the Raidillon guest system. Patent pending, of course. The Raidillon guest system says in a lap or 2.
or 2. Yeah, that is definitely RGS.
Patent pending.
Pending, yeah, definitely. I wonder if Callum Beaumont's going to be too bothered with Matt Heatrick in the middle of these two. Heatrick is still driving well.
Heatrick has to pit though, so he might not be too bothered by it.
But he's losing time. He's losing time as he does this. So that's the one issue he's got, is that he's losing time to Sewell if he's behind Heatrick. And in fact, he'll be out of the slipstream again. So Beaumont will have to push. And it's just going to be a struggle for him.
Well, I mean, Beaumont's falling back of his own accord. He's nowhere near the rear end of Matthew Heatrick, and Heatrick is actually right on the rear end of Matthew Sewell. So it's all to play for. It is all to absolutely play for. Battle still going on between Teekins and Wills. We'll see if that starts heating up again soon. In the amateurs, sorry, it is actually starting to heat up. But to say the gap is only 0.2 of a second right now, as they're still glued to the rear end of each other. And there's nothing separating Wills from trying to get his eyes on the prize of getting back 5th overall past all of the pit stops. 15 minutes, less than 15 minutes to go. And this is how the current status is. If things go as they are, Van der Wedge will be your race winner with Chris Daines in 2nd place, Will Egby 3rd, Milan Teekins. Oh no, I've got the order wrong. It'll be Jonas Dreyer.
Daines in the pits. Yeah.
Daines is in the pits, so it'll be Van der Wedge, Dreyer, and a toss-up between himself and Daines for 2nd and 3rd. 4th will be Egby, Teekins 5th. And Teekins has actually been... Oh no, Teekins is in the pits, as is Harry Wills.
Yeah, this is going to be crucial, because now we get to see who had been fuel saving. Or furthermore, who gets in and puts the right amount of fuel in. And for Teekins' case, because the last time he did one of these endurance races, did not have all of his tyres unticked and had one tyre changed. And that makes a big difference. We'll wait and see. Wills in the box finally. Teekins there, waiting, sitting, they're bobbling. Who goes first? This is crucial. It is going to be Teekins. In fact, I think Wills is overfueled. Going to be losing time to Teekins. He's overfueled.
1.4 seconds extra of fuel in the pit stops. So it has not paid off at all.
Maybe he should have lifted and fuel saved. Look at the gap now between Wills and Teekins. It's 2 seconds. That is a big gap to take. And by the way, Chris Daines comes out the pits. Jonas Dreyer is 8 seconds behind, and he was trying to catch up to Daines. So Dreyer having to take a longer pit stop after jumping the field. And to be fair, that first pit stop was a stroke of genius by Dreyer. It's got him past the danger zone, but I think he's just going to have to be complacent with a P3 today.
I mean, unfortunately, what else can you do? It is unfortunate, but it is the side effect of racing. With the strategy comes into play, you can either make the right call or the wrong call. And unfortunately, Harry Wills has had to fuel more than the others around him. And I think that is in part due to the amount of pressure he was trying to provide to Milan Teekins. And it has backfired. He's now got a gap of 1.76 seconds. Matthew Sewell
say that again.
1.76 seconds. Well, now 1.73. 1.76 seconds is now the gap between Harry Wills and Milan Teekins. Matthew Sewell, Callum Bone. Yeah, it is indeed. Yeah, it is a fun battle, but we do have this one. We go look at the back end, looking back towards Callum Beaumont. That is the gap currently, and the two of them have been fighting it out. They're up. They have both pitted. They have 10 minutes to get this sorted out. 11 minutes, 15 seconds to get this sorted out between the two of them. So it'll all be down to how good can they hold it together. At this point, their tires will probably be starting to scream. They may want a drink, and they may not be able to focus, but at the very least, they're going to try their absolute hardest. Or,
sorry, were you talking about the racing, or were you talking about me?
This isn't Bathurst 12 hours. What are you doing?
It's been a long day, Rob. It's been a long day. He says as he swigs another drink. Battle there between Sewell and Beaumont is half a second, of course. Annie Hitchens, unfortunately, no longer in a battle for P4. The two Matthews, they're in what is 5th and 6th. No battles there. Apart from the lead, I don't think there's any battles going on for the amateurs. So it's also the only battle on the track at the moment is this between Beaumont and Sewell. Christian Furze 5.5 seconds behind Beaumont. Still doing well, but the pace has just not been there today for the RSR Vector driver. He'll just be complacent, I think, just to survive, and a P3 will be good. May affect him when it comes to the point standing, but I'd take a P3 right now, even if it meant that you were going to be almost level or just losing the lead to Callum Beaumont. Or even Matthew Sewell as well, because the points that Sewell will get. Well, no, unfortunately, Sewell is down in 12th. So I'm going to be knocking on wood right now. He's having a really good race today. That will really help him in the standings. But yeah, Christian Furze was 10 points ahead of Beaumont. Don't think he'll be too upset losing a bit of ground to Beaumont, because the key thing is he's going to get a P3 out of it. So keep what he's doing. Keep it safe. It'll be fine. And I think I might have made Sewell's ears burn, because now he's just starting to get a little bit uncomfortable with Callum Beaumont chasing him.
Have you done it again, Craig?
I knocked on wood.
Was the wood your head?
It still counts.
It doesn't. You've never heard somebody say knock on your own head. I guarantee you. I guarantee you. Yeah, that's right. I'm challenging.
Wait for this. Yeah, go on. I guarantee. Are you going to say that there's going to be an accident between Sewell and Beaumont and you're going to blame me? That's what you're saying, isn't it?
No, not at all. I wouldn't do that. Harry Wills, by the way, is caught up to the rear end of Milan Tekin, so it is battle part 2. But they only have 8 minutes to do it. But
there's such a gap between Teakins and Egby again. Teakins needs a slipstream. And the track temperature is now 22 Celsius as the sun starts setting down. It is 5 o'clock in the afternoon. As Teakins again takes almost one of my lines of through Bruxelles on the curb, hugs the curb, is starting to struggle with Wills right behind him. And you get down to Pouhon here, and it's the place where you don't expect the driver to make an overtake, but it's still going to be a case of, well, I got to be careful. He might make that dive. He doesn't. Try to keep it on track, but it's one of these places where Wills just has to think to himself, let's set myself up for the bus stop. Like I was saying, if they had a high downforce car, like an LMP1, an LMP2, a Formula car, you could go flat out around Blanchimont, but these GT3s, they can't. Dean Tim's having an off behind them. They can't do anything like that, so you can't even think about overtakes through Blanchimont or around there. You have to set yourself up at the end of the track, and it's tough because Wills knows that Teakins knows that. They both know what's going to happen, and we know the result is going to be Teakins will go to the inside when they get to the bus stop. And again, Wills wants to go too wide through Blanchimont again and goes, yeah, maybe a bit too risky, and just had a little tap at the brakes. Does hinder his advances up the field. 6 minutes remaining. They're about to start lap 30 of 33. Van der Wedge has the race in control right now, Rob. Because of his pace, the lap timer is 32.06. He has made it go an extra lap. Do the drivers realize it? I've just looked at that. We're lap 30 of 33. Van der Wedge could slow down. If he had, he's got a 14-second lead. If he slowed down by 2 seconds, we might get a 32-lap race. But at the moment, he's forcing it an extra lap. And like I said, do people know? Because this is actually new developing drama.
Well, it's not drama until somebody actually starts, puffing. Well, not when I say puffing, I mean like the engine starts puffing. Yeah, spluttering due to the fact that it's run out of fuel. It'll be interesting to see because the short fuelers would have been Egby and Teekins. The two of them definitely were fuel shorting. So will they run out of fuel? Let's see.
If Will starts catching up to Teekins before the corners, you know that Teekins is starting to lift. One of them must get this idea right now that the lap counter is 32.06. When Van der Wedge crosses the line in a minute, he's coming through Blanchimont right now. He's got that 13.5 second lead. If that number drops, there's nothing to worry about. But they're near the end of the race. There's less than 5 minutes remaining. I cannot see that number changing from 32.06. We'll wait and see. He's coming across the line now. What does my maths say? It's still 32.06. It's still going to be 33 laps. Now they'll be in that idea. They'll be in that position. Harry Wills is also still battling with Teekins. By the way, behind the amateurs, they're battling. We'll have to keep an eye on this. I want to see if anybody makes a move into the bus stop before we go back to the amateurs. Will's trying to go around the outside of the bus stop. Does he make it stick? Overcooked it. Teekins holds on. There is going to be a second battle, though. We'll wait and see what happens in the second battle. Teekins will have to go to the inside. Decides against it. So Wills says no. How's that amateur battle? I think Beaumont's had to lift a little bit for Blanchimont. He has. So nothing happening there. But like I said, if they don't know, they should know now. The race is going an extra lap.
Well, unless Van der Wedge slows right down. But
Will he do that?
I don't think he would.
No. When have you ever seen a driver go, oh, maybe I should hold them up. I'll let them do one less lap. Nope, no one's ever done that. Jimmy Broadbent tried and failed, but nope, never.
Yeah, because the white flag had already been flown.
Yeah. That was classic. That was classic. Harry was trying to find a way around Milan Teekins. Can't find it. And every time I get to Brussels, you look at it and it's like, when do you get on the throttle? When do you get on the throttle? And Wills must be thinking, get on the throttle as fast as you can, please. But struggling again. Just back. I'm keeping my eyes on the relative on them, by the way, for Sewell and Beaumont. The gap's only half a second, but it's not closing as much as I would like to go back to it at the moment. This battle's still with Wills and Teekins as there's 2:45. So forget the timer right now. We just know there's going to be a lap after this. That's all you need to know. Wills tried to get him through Laythorns, but cannot make it work. And like I said, 2:30, 2:29. Like I said, this is how close it's going to be. They're doing 2:18 lap times. Crosses the line, 4 seconds. There'll be 4 seconds left. That's how much Van der Wedge would have to slow down. But he's not taking the white flag, so there will be one more lap after this.
Van der Wedge has already crossed the line, so one more lap is indeed on the clock. Isn't Sewell having a consistently good race? He is indeed. He's been in first and he stayed in first. And here are the details. When it says he started 12th, I mean, that was first for the amateurs.
Rob, don't fall for it. Neil cursed us last week. Don't fall for it. Don't give in to it, Rob.
Oh, I know what he's doing. He wants Midland Sim Race. He wants Midland Sim Land Mid Racers.
Simland Mid Race. Yeah, he wants Simland. He wants Simland mid-race to do well. We're horrible people.
That was a mistake. I swear on my mam's cooking. That was a mistake. I was about to say my nan's grave, but it's like that would be a bit dark, so I'll just swear my mum's cooking instead.
Yeah, let's not do one Pablo Montoya, please. Wills, by the way, gets a good exit out of Lake Coombe. Can't make anything happen. Yeah, the gap there between Sewell and Beaumont is closing, though, as they come down. Of course, it would close when they're on the start on the Kemmel straight, but they don't. Wills has a good run. Do you know what? Something tells me these guys probably think it's the last lap. Wills is going to try to go around the outside of Pouhon. He can't. He can't. There's no space for him to start that. He's going to try and cut to the inside on the exit of Pouhon. Again, no space. There's no overlap. And you can't send it into Lathorn. But Teakin's compromising himself with that line at the start of Lathorn to the exit of Lathorn. Again, a little touch on the brakes there to correct the car, and that understeer does not get it. Van der Wedge is going to cross the line. 5 seconds. White flag is definitely out. Final lap starts now. Wills trying to find a way around Teakins. Cannot find it at the moment. Behind, you've got Beaumont trying to find a way around Sewell. How much luck will he have? I'm not sure. Some of these guys may think it's the final lap. I will now see the white flag and go, I've got to go again. Do the PD guys have the fuel? That's the big question right now.
I'm not sure. If they splutter just coming up to the line, then you know, it really is looking. It's shaping up to be quite the final lap. Let's put it that way. Callum Bowman and Matthew Sewell still fighting. This is going on since lap 11. So they are absolutely gung-hoing it. And it's coming up to final lap now. So it'll be the final chance for Callum Beaumont of Midland Sim Racers, or as they're now called, Simland Mid Racers. Thank you, me. Coming through Blanc. Oh, I've done it now. Oh, I said Blanchim. I just had to start a Blanchimont up through the hill into Raidillon. I've done it now. The joke has come full circle as they come up through. Dear. As they come up through Raidillon on the Kemmel into Lake Coombe. They're very cordial, these two. I mean, they're not even really trying anything.
Well, they're cordial, but Harry Wills and Milan Teakin weren't cordial.
Oh, they're full fighting at this moment in time, yeah.
Well, they're fighting. They're fighting. Wills trying to go around the outside to get around Teakin. Top 5 would be everything for Wills right now. He could use the result, trying to find it. Again, he realizes he can't go on the inside to make a move at Lathorn. So he sets himself up, and look how wide that apex threw Teakins out at the exit of Lathorn. It's not going to work. By the way, Van der Wedge crosses the line. He will take victory. He just comes across the line and takes victory. A great result there for Van der Wedge once again. Let's get back on this battle, though, between Wills and Teakins, because the gap is 0.1 of a second. Wills needs to find a way. If he has to do it, he has to do it here. He's not going to use any advantage of that off track. He's side by side. They're side by side. Into Blanchimont. Round the outside goes Wills. And makes it stick. A little bit of an off track, but makes it stick. He breaks for the bus stop. Teakins is going to fight this. Too wide they go. Tries to cut the line up. Can't cut the line up. Too wide through the bus stop. It's a drag race. Drag race to the line. Is it Wills? It's Wills. What a finish for Harry Wills to take P5.
By 9,000ths of a second, he managed to pip the post. Just by 9,000.
Matthew Sewell's coming across the line. He holds off the battle from Beaumont. He will take victory. His first victory in the series goes to Matt Sewell. Callum Beaumont will take P2 and Christian Furs will take that P3. But that battle between Wills and Teakins. Wow. Whew.
You could say, wow.
Oh, what a move. What a move, though.
Oh, and Matthew. Oh, poor Matthew. Oh, dear.
Well, Heatrick finishes. I think Ryan Hamilton's going to be the last car to finish the lap. Yeah. Dave South is there, and then it will be Ryan Hamilton. We'll let them finish respectfully. They deserve it. 75 minutes, and we get something like that. Absolutely crazy.
Well, how about we go through the results, shall we?
Yeah, why not? Tanguy van der Wedge takes victory by 12.5 seconds. And doing that extra lap did not hinder anybody at the end. Ryan Hamilton, by the way, hasn't finished yet. Now he finally finished. He tried to do it in style. Chris Daines comes home in P2. Hang on 1 second. Harry Wills disqualified.
No! What happened?
Harry Wills with a time penalty is no longer P5.
What?
Yeah. Now, I'm not sure what that's all about. That's a weird one. Did he get an off track? So we'll go with what is the wording. Van der Wedge first. Chris Daines in second. Jonas Dreyer takes third. Will Wigby takes fourth. Teekins then gets moved to fifth. Then we come to the amateur with Matthew Sewell winning, with Callum Beaumont second, Christian third in third. Harry Wills drops to overall P9, provisionally P6. No idea about that. Andy Hitchens takes fourth away, though. Takes fourth. He had a really good battle. And then I think there was an accident there by one of the drivers. He takes fourth. The two Matthews, Matthew Draycott, followed by Matthew Heatrick. Once again, they were battling hard, and Draycott will take the fifth, and Heatrick will take the sixth. Dave South and Ryan Hamilton will be the last cars on the lead lap. Lyden Lee was lapped right at the end, decided not to take another lap and just get lapped. Dean Timms was 2 laps down. Chris Chatterton finished 4 laps down after his accident. Taylor Lane, 16 laps down. Dennis Mesner, 17 laps down. Mark Fleming, 18. James Armstrong was 20 laps down. Louis Eggerson, well, it just wasn't his day, was it? 2 spins at Pujon, 24 laps down. Daniel Gilding, 26 laps down. Daniel Merchant, 28 laps down. And Ted Bradbury, 32 laps down.
Ben Smith did not take to the grid.
Yeah. Right. Now, let's get the man of the moment, because Harry, it doesn't say you're fifth anymore.
No, it doesn't. I think I tapped Milan at the end there and got a 4x, and that put me over the limit. So I think, unfortunately, as much as I'd like to say that I finished ahead of him, I don't think I did.
37 incident points.
Yeah. I think he was on 34.
He was.
A couple of people were close, but I'm hour and 15 solid of trying to get round him. And what a race! Even if I finish 9th or 39th, that was brilliant. I really enjoyed that. Yeah, sweating profusely.
I mean, you did that overtake twice around the outside of Blanchimont, and so many times I looked at it thinking, you're going to take it too wide. And I'm like, don't take it too wide. I mean, that was the only place. Was that the only place that you felt you had to do it?
Well, I for some reason, I just couldn't get Eau Rouge right, or the Eau Rouge and Raidillon. So it's like, well, I have to, because obviously the nice place to overtake is at the end of the Kemmel Straight into the right and left-hander, but I just couldn't get the run down there on him. So it's like, well, where else do you do it safely where you can at least get your car side by side into the braking zone? Because I don't want to just send it from miles back into a random corner and hope for the best, because it's just going to end badly if that happens. So it's got to be I've got to be at least in my head side by side or have an equal chance of the corner if I was going to make the move. So that was the only place to do it, is to try and compromise his line through Blanchimont and get into that bus stop at the end side by side. And I did it when I needed to do it, but unfortunately it was fortunately I got 1x or 2x too many, I think. So yeah.
Oh, Harry.
I know.
Well,
that was wicked.
I do want to talk about one thing, Harry. Your brown pants moment at Pujon.
Yes, that was. Yes, for a moment I just let everything go and hope for the best. And somehow it got straightened up. But I think I might have had that whole battle of Milan wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for that mistake. And you know what? I'm here for good racing. I'm not here to win anything. And that was just good, solid racing for like an hour straight. So,
Rob might have something to say about that. Rob,
What?
what have you got to say to Harry?
Oh yeah, I cursed you. I'm sorry.
that's perfectly fine.
I had the camera strained on you, and I was just like, and Harry's catching up. And then as soon as I said that, you were like, oh.
Thanks, Rob.
You're very welcome.
Thanks, Rob. Well,
Thanks, Rob. So that wouldn't. So it's got nothing to do with my driving ability. It's
yeah, no, it's
all
Rob.
you.
It's all Rob. Yeah, it's all Rob.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what you're
Brilliant.
so you could in fact say I created good racing. So
Perfect. And you know what? And that's what we want. So no, well done to Milan. I think a couple of times I was thinking, is he going to give me room? Because obviously we had a bit of a run in at Interlagos where neither of us give each other any room, and that was in the World Series last week. And I think there was a couple of times where maybe I probably could have given a bit more, especially with Egby. But you know what? It's racing. We both finished, and I'd rather have it that way than any other way. So it's good fun.
I don't know if you've got anything else, Rob.
I don't know. I don't. I've done my cursing. I've done my cursing.
You've done your cursing. Well, one man we did not curse, Chris Daines in P2, who had a somewhat quiet race. But Chris, congratulations on a P2 for Eclipse.
Thank you very much.
I'd like to say, you had a eventful race, but no, it was kind of quiet, wasn't it? Apart from leading a couple laps, it was just keep the car on.
Yeah, it's a bit boring for me, I'll be honest. But once I realised P1 was just absolutely rocketing away, I thought I'd just go into fuel saving mode. So it's pretty much what I'd done for the whole race. And I got dragged in at the last 50. So basically 50 seconds before qualifying, I just bought the car and just bolted a setup on. So I didn't really know what I was going into. So I'm pretty happy with that, to be fair. And the car was lovely to drive, to be fair. I quite like this Lambo.
No, it did look good. We didn't have a lot of the cameras trained on you. Of course, it was just almost like a Sunday drive for you. But you'll be back on Wednesday, which is actually, it's probably going to help you, isn't it? Because you'll be back Wednesday for the World Series, so you get a little bit of practice there, won't you?
That is, to be fair, that is why I done today, because it's the same format for Wednesday. So I know it's in the Lambo, but the Lambo is very similar to the Audi with fuel consumption, etc., etc. So it's given me a good insight as to what to do for Wednesday.
Now,
have you got anything, Rob? Yeah. Okay, Rob.
Now, I'm glad I didn't curse you, but at the very same time, did you ever really lose control of the car any which way, or was it just solid through?
No, the car was pretty solid, to be fair. That's why I was surprised. I expected the Lambo to be a bit skatey, let's say, but no. As soon as I put my setup on, it was pretty planted actually, and I was quite surprised. Like even with low tyre wear, I thought the car would be a bit sketchy, but it just felt really, really nice, to be fair. I was quite surprised at it. So yeah, definitely something to think about for the next RSR season I enter.
I haven't got anything else, Rob.
Nothing. I want to bring in this man. So, you won a race. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
How was Sewell doing today?
Oh yeah, it was tough, to be honest. I was sweating profusely after about 30 minutes because I had Christian and Callum on my back bumper for basically the whole race. Callum kept me honest.
That was what I wanted to ask you about, by the way.
Yeah, it was crazy. Like, it wasn't a case of letting your foot off the gas at any point in the race. I was just literally on it all the time, and I'm actually pretty happy I didn't really put a foot wrong, really. My tyres were a bit knackered towards the end, but I think everyone was.
Yeah. What were you mirror watching, or were you just trying to keep focus? Because I mean, to be like almost an hour battling like that it's something you don't want. Something not nice. But you've got to keep your eyes on the back in case he does go for a move. But yeah, were you paying too much attention to the mirror? or were you focusing?
Well, at the start of the race, not particularly. I just got my head down and tried to break a gap, but the gap didn't come. So I think towards the last 30 minutes, I thought, hang on a minute, Callum's keeping up here. I'm going to have to just keep my eye on the mirror. And then I think it was the last 5 or 6 minutes of the race, Callum was getting within like 2 or 3 tenths by the end. So I was having to defend towards the end. But fair play to him. He did have a bit of a run on me on the last lap, just going into the chicane, but he did back out of it. So fair play to him.
No real issues then on the track then. That could be through a lot of cars having. Oh, you got caught up with Louis Eggerson, who had a spin, and I think near the start of the race you were battling with him, I think, because there was no way to let him by. But you never had any serious issues with the car or the track at all today.
There was obviously the odd X here and there, but I think that was the case with everyone. I know Louis had his issue, and it was behind me, but he was lapping around the same pace as me. I did offer him to come past, so he could have come past, and then he span out, unfortunately. So I took the position again, and then carried on my merry way.
And that merry way took you to your first victory in the season. Rob, have you got anything to add?
No, nothing other than, do you have any shoutouts?
For Eclipse Racing Team, we've got a lot of representatives in Super Trofeo and in the World Series. It's been great racing with them for nearly a year now. So long may it continue.
We always love seeing the Eclipse guys, and hopefully we see you again next week. And who knows, maybe another podium, maybe another victory for you guys. So all the best next week, and get some rest and probably a shower after 75 minutes of hard racing with Callum at the end there. But congratulations once again, Matthew, for the victory.
Yeah, thank you very much. Have a good night.
Thank you.
And just like that, unfortunately, it is the end of a good race.
No.
No.
Why must we? Okay, no, we will. We will. Thank you once again, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in to Raidillon TV. If you like what you see, hit that thumbs up button for those YouTube algorithm thingamabobs. Howitzers. That's it. The howitzer.
Whatever they are.
Yeah, whatever they are. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button on the YouTube channel. And our member list, we have the free tier package for you. Pick your own tier and support us in any way you can, as well as super chat and all that with donations. Shout out as well to our Discord, our community Discord, link underneath the video. And shout out to trackcams22.com providing these camera angles again. And aren't they nice? We're gonna stay here for a few days, Rob. I think I'm gonna check out what around the area's got, because we're back Wednesday for the RSR World Series in their own endurance race around here. And that's it for Spa. I don't have to see Spa for a couple of weeks. Wow, I can't wait for that.
What do you mean? What do you mean? Spa's a great track.
I can't drive it.
What?
I know, it's the off track. Anyway. End of season of 21 season 1 this week as well. The final race of the ESS Friday at 1900 GMT at Le Mans. And the Huskenveld GT Challenge finishes off on Sunday at 19:45. So do join us then. If not, we'll be back next Monday, same time at 2000 GMT for the Super Trofeo series. But until then, I have been Craig King.
I have been Mr. Robert O'Brien.
Oh, he's put a Mr. on his name now. Okay.
Yeah,
and
fancy.
this has been Raidillon TV, the only corner you need. Good evening.